Hello, Eagles. How is everybody doing? It's Keroy King, Mother Eagle, and today I wanted to talk about how I write my books in 30 days or less. Well, I'm in Chitintal at my office, Sunshine Financial Services. Anyway, yeah, if you're in the Chitintal area, that's after Bugolobi, right? Yeah, pass by the office and say hi. And that's where you can find the books actually. I wrote Live Like a King Without Growing Broke. This was the first book. And then during the pandemic, I wrote Wisdom Nuggets for the Soul and Divine Soul Whispers. And the toughest book was the first one, Live Like a King, right? I wrote it many years ago, and I had it on my website as a free copy that people could just download. And when you write your first book, there are so many insecurities you're working through, but by yourself. You're thinking, will people like it? You're thinking, am I worthy even sharing about this information? So there is a lot of inner conflict and inner insecurities you have to work through. But once you work through them, then you have the courage to share your things publicly without feeling funny, without feeling that, okay, they'll be criticized. And that's okay, because your story is your story. It's unique. It's your opinion is your opinion. It's unique. Some people will like it, some people won't. So you have to be okay with that. So once you get over the fear of other people criticizing you, and then you remember that your uniqueness is where the gift lies, it gets easier to share that information. Yeah, it took me many years to compile to have the confidence to actually publish the book. Once I finished publishing the book, at that point, I didn't mind what anyone says or anyone didn't say. If there is a little mistake here or there, some little typos, that's a problem with creators, right? You want everything to be perfect, and there is no such thing. There will always be more knowledge to gain. There'll always be changes to make. That's why there are always editions. First edition, second edition. Actually, this edition that I published on Live Like a King, it must have been like fourth edition or something, because there is always new learning, new advancements in things, unless you're writing about only evergreen topics, you see. So I want to encourage you to put yourself and your work out there. Work through those inner conflicts, because that's where the hindrance is. What I know about creators, you're always creating. I know you have a writing pad beside your bed, or you have Evernote app on your phone where you keep your notes. Keep writing, keep creating, because out of that information, that is where you're going to get the material to use. Many people have different modes of curating their material, but for me, the way I do it, since primarily right now I write mostly poems and little quotes, I journal a lot. Every day, every morning, I'm always writing anything. Most things are random. Then after a while, maybe a month or two, I go back into my journal and look at whether some things kind of made sense, because there is the up and down, and sometimes you're inspired, sometimes you're not, and you have to allow all those cycles to work with you in your creation process. Don't beat on yourself if you feel like, oh my God, I used to create and now I feel like I'm stuck. Yes, that stuckness and stagnation just means pull away, give it a breather, allow a flow, because there are seasons for everything. There are seasons to come and listen and write. There are seasons to do and pay attention to other things. You have to allow that whole process to happen. So once I finish, once I go through my notebooks, and I actually, I created my own journals. for those of you who like journaling, well, and what I did, I put in some inspirational quotes in the journals because I need to be inspired all the time, you know. With the way the world is going, you have to be on it, right? Yes. So these journals, this is where I write everyday random things. Then I go back and I start curating. I have a template on my laptop since I've written so many other random things, short plays, short poems, and short essays. Then I type out whatever I wrote. And since my poems are from natural inspiration, I try not to edit too much because at the point when I wrote it, there was a flow and a divine guidance of some sort. So I really try to leave them as original as possible and not tamper with the energy that was backed by that particular, I call them download or thought form, you see? Because all these things that we are writing are supposed to inspire others and help others also create a fire within them so that they can create their own things, you know, something of that sort. So you as a creator, you don't want to destroy that inspiration energy backed by, you know, that whatever, that divine flow that was pushing you to do something. You want that to be transferred onto your readers. So here comes the big thing. How do I write in less than 30 days? I go back, compile all that information. Most of you, I'm sure, have some kind of social media. Start sharing there. Because usually I go like to my Facebook page, my Instagram, and copy and paste all the poems I posted there. Because as I get the downloads, I immediately post them on social media, you know. And because I am aware this gift is for sharing, so I don't really hold on it so tight. And then once I curate, I combine them. I create an index. I actually a table of contents. Then type out everything. Give it a break, maybe a week. Then go back and read again to make sure, you know, because sometimes when you're creating, you're in such a high vibe that when you come back to the normal day-to-day, you read through those things, you're like, huh, what was I trying to say? So I go back, reread again, and at that point, for those of you who have editors, it's a good time to give the book to the editor to help you read through, give it to friends to help you read through, so that you correct all errors. You know, as a creator, you're so into your project that sometimes you fail to see other things that are obvious, right? Yeah. Then from there, of course, if you really want to be a writer, you'll have to learn to format your books by yourself. Otherwise, it can get expensive really quick. So for me, I invested time in learning how to format my books, how to create my own book covers, because I created this out of Canva. Canva is a good, a little piece. It's an app where you can create all kinds of graphics for quotes and books and anything. This one I also created out of Canva. They have a free and a paid version. I've tried both. The paid version is pretty cool, but not necessary, because I think I tried it for maybe a month and that's it. But all these, this one I used the free version. This one I hired someone to make for me actually, and it was good. But when I realized I'll be doing books a lot, I figured I might as well learn to do some of these things. But it's good to invest in a good designer to do the book cover, because all these designs are what will help sell your books and people be attracted to your cover before even they read your material, right? So you can see the way I formatted. These are the poems, right? The formatting, and These are standard things you'll just add to your book. I always start with the table of contents as I told you before. And from the table of contents, just a Word document, I start filling in and reorganizing and see a sequence. So for those of you who are trying to write, start with a table of contents and maybe dedicate one page to each topic. You'll find that you'll naturally start expanding out the topics. And then you'll find that there'll be a branch of one topic that is so big that maybe needs its own book. So you find yourself maybe writing 2 books at the same time. Yes, that is how creation works. Remember, when the information is coming, it's a bit disorganized, and that's okay. Don't get discouraged when you feel like you're scatterbrained and you're everywhere. It's okay. Just keep documenting and documenting. With time, you start writing, and as you're editing, some things have to be removed to be put maybe in a different book, in a different short, small summary book or whatever. But don't shy away from writing. I encourage you to share your voice, share your vision. I've met so many people, especially here as I'm working at Sunshine, that have visions and ready to share their quotes and their little stories, and some are fantasy, some are real. Whatever your vision is, put it in writing. It's not as hard as you think, you know. I think the biggest encouragement is take one step at a time. Don't worry too much about what will happen after. No. Just write the book. I got a revelation one time. Do you remember these? What do they call them? The automatic doors, right? That when you walk close to it, then that's when it opens. Yes, some of our life experiences and these things we are doing, the people who are going to help you, many of them are going to come when you've done something about your project, you know. So it's like that automatic door. As soon as you're almost completing that little 10% that you know how to do, a resource will come, a person, a friend, a stranger. Then they'll give you the other insight for your next step, you know. So that's how the vision builds. And before you know it, once you overcome yourself and your self-limiting beliefs and all the scary things, the next steps get easier, you know. And for those of you who don't like to type, you can find a ghostwriter. There are people out there who know how to write in your voice. You tell them the story, and they go on and write for you or type it out. Some of you who just don't like the sitting and typing, use the audio, your audio phone or voice memo to capture this information, and just converse. Tell a story. Tell us the different chapters of your life, you know. And with time, you'll see the pattern revealing. What I know about these things we create is they have a life of their own. You may think that you're going to write a book about this. Then as you're writing, something else reveals itself. Some of these books we write, they're about our journey and our healing journey. And as you're writing, you find yourself getting healed and getting better because you're vocalizing, because of a certain cause. Some of these things are just pure expression, you know, nothing attached. For me, the poems just came as rhymes and rhythms in my mind. They seemed pretty cool. I figured, I should write them down. Why not? And before you know it, the flow kept coming and kept coming. Now, after writing, I don't know how many poems, 200 or so, you know, they are still coming. And actually right now I'm preparing the volume 2 of Divine Soul Whispers. That's why I'm encouraged to share that it's not as hard as you think to write a book. Um, and your first book may not be the best of the best. You just have to put it out there, however small. Then you start improving as you go step by step, and you start finding the right people who can help you in terms of resources to publish your book, distribute your book, and things of that nature. As always, this is Keroy. If you need my books, send me a DM. I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye.